of opportunity for all. That is a county I desire. And I know that is the county that you want and that the people of Nairobi desire. As leaders, we are responsible for achieving it. Tom Joseph Mboya said, there are no supermen who are going to come. It is upon us to change our county. I ask you once again, members, to rededicate yourselves to making Nairobi that green city under the sun. We expect that this plan will guide our city's journey as we look towards the future into all sorts of exciting ways that yet keep faith with the vision that we have, the vision that we share, that will expand infrastructure and service networks within the city. Members, and especially the committee on planning, as you consider, Mheshimiwa Palapala, new development guidelines and land use plans for the city, but before this assembly, we brought this before the assembly. Members, we must appreciate the global urbanization trends. We have had a lot of commentary out there about statements that we have made and that we stand by of where the city is going. By the year 2050, which is less than 28 years from now, Nairobi will have at least 10.5 million inhabitants. The SDGs recognize that 65% of the world's population is going to be in urban centers. To avoid urban sprawl, which we have seen in many parts of the world, and its negative concomitant effects, we must rethink and redesign many of our neighborhoods. Our city is 696 square kilometers. It will not expand. We must use the available technology of building to ensure sustainable housing, even as we raise height restrictions in different parts of the city. The city will not expand. We shall not have urban sprawl. Densification is the way to go. We can only go up. However, members, the process of reviewing of these plans, which brings together our urban planners, our resident associations, other professionals must take these facts into considerations. The provision of water and sanitation remains a key consideration. I am grateful to our development partners who have actually committed billions of shillings to expand our sewer networks, to expand our water networks, and to expand that necessary infrastructure. Let no one imagine that we will just issue a blank check for uncontrolled development before the infrastructure that is required to go hand in hand with it. But we must start socializing ourselves. By the 1976 urban master plan of a city of 1 million people cannot hold in 2024 for a city that is looking to the future. We must ensure there is provision of green spaces in every building plan considered, and I'm sure that that will be incorporated in the guidelines before you. Strict adherence to development control guidelines, plot ratios, ground clearance, as well as provisions of social amenities in healthcare, in education, in recreation, and in mobility. Traffic assessments must be done. I am grateful to the government of the United States of America, who have committed to us $60 million, which currently translates to around 8 billion shillings through the Millennium Challenge Corporation, to finance our land use and mobility planning as well as our infrastructural development, including part of the buses for the BRT, in a threshold program that will cover the next few months. Additionally, that will lead to what we call a compact program, which goes above the tune of $700 million. I will be joining His Excellency the President in a state visit to the United States of America on invitation of the government of the United States to make sure that you, the leaders of Nairobi, who represent the people of Nairobi, are able to follow this development that's coming to our city, and that the people of Nairobi are able to benefit from it. As leaders of this county, because we had the new plan. The new plan provided a framework for detailed planning of the city. After the new plan, there were supposed to be local area plans for each and every area. During the time of the NMS, they advertised for different plans. I remember Airport North, Woodley, It never happened. And we said instead of piecemeal plans, this MCC support of $60 million can enable us, on the foundation of new plan, to actually do the Nairobi Urban Master Plan moving forward. As leaders of this county, we need not just look at the day-to-day running of the city or the quarterly plans, but also Nairobi of the future. Just as those who made the last master plan of the city in the 70s, they had a vision for the city decades hence. We too now must plan today for the Nairobi our grandchildren will inherit. The future will not plan itself. It is for you to plan and to look at it. And that is why this year we are going to consult widely. We are soon gazetting the Nairobi Vision 2050 Task Force that will create a comprehensive new development plan for our city, building on the steps and the foundations I have mentioned. I ask you members to be part of that process. We'll have our resident associations part of that process. We'll have our engineers, our architects. We'll have urban economists. We'll have all the sectors, our traders, our market people, public transport operators, the matatu people. All of them will come and participate in this year-long process of Nairobi Vision 2050. When President Mwai Kibaki spoke about 2030 in the year 2002, people thought it was a long way ahead. It was 28 or so years ahead of that time. The year 2050 is about the same period of time from now. We must start now. And thereafter, every decade plan, every CIDP, every annual plan, every flagship project shall build into that city, that global hub that God has blessed us with a gift of location, that from Nairobi you can be in New York in 13 hours, that from Nairobi you can be in Dubai in 5 hours, you can be in Amsterdam in 8 hours, you can be in London in 8 hours. In fact, it's always strange. You can go to New York in 13, but you come back in 11. And I thought it's because it is downhill. But there's a good explanation. Because of the rotation of the earth. Somebody said the pilot just steps on the clutch and they go down from New York to Nairobi. But we cannot have a situation where you're here in the center of the world and get stuck in traffic for 4 hours. We must take advantage of a global capital, the only one in the world, where you can be sitting, looking at animals in their natural, unspoiled, untouched habitat. And in the background is the skyline of a capital city. It's only Nairobi. We can only take advantage of that if we plan the future. So members, I ask you to support Nairobi 2050. So this great historic city of great consequence, many of you may not know the building you're in was once the tallest building in East Africa from 1935 because of the clock tower. But Nairobi then also got the first Commonwealth Charter in the world, given by the Prince of the Duke of Gloucester. We have such a rich heritage. But Africans then were not allowed in this building. And only those who could be allowed to come in at the then gallery, or those who owned land. Our fathers were heroes of the past. You are the architects of the future. Members, I ask you to give me your support. For if we work together, then this city, in the words in Jeremiah 33:9, will be the city that brings God renown, joy, praise and honor before all nations on earth that will hear of all the good things the Lord has done for it. And they will be awed by its prosperity and peace. To our Muslim brothers and sisters, during this last special 10 days of Lailatul Qadr, I ask you to pray for Nairobi and to pray for Kenya, for God's peace, protection, and prosperity. Saum Makbul, and I wish you a happy Eid al-Fitr. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, the people of Nairobi, God bless you all. God bless Nairobi. God bless Kenya. Lazima iwaka. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Section 32J of the County Governments Act, I hereby submit to the County Assembly the annual report on the implementation status of county policies and plans as well as the address that I have given for subsequent debate by the House. Asante sana.